Hey guys, what's going on? This is E from the Easy Entrepreneur YouTube channel, and you know I flip diabetic supplies full time, right? Where we buy the diabetic supplies from the patient or someone who has access to them. We'll pay with our own cash, then we turn around and we sell to wholesale distributors that we call buyers. And the cool thing about this business is that all the sellers will become repeat customers, meaning that once they sell to you today, they will sell to you every month or every time they get their supplies through the entirety of you doing this business. And that's how this thing builds. All right, guys. So today, this video is about working with sellers, right? So I'm just going to touch upon a bunch of different points of just, some of the things you're going to deal with sellers and stuff like that. All right. Now, overall, working with sellers is very easy because in any other business, when you're dealing with sellers, you're going to have to pitch to them and try to sell to them. In this business, there is no selling to the seller and convincing them to sell to you. They're very eager to sell. They could care less on who's on the other line. They'll sell to a 15, 16, 17-year-old. People that young can do this business. They do not care who they're doing business with. They just want a smooth transaction. They want cash, or however they're gonna get their money. Whether you're doing it nationally and they're sending you the supplies and you're paying on arrival, then they want their money when them supplies come. You said that you're gonna pay them for their supplies if they send them to you, and if you honor that, they're fine. After that, they'll just keep sending you the supplies, right? And if you're doing it locally, they just want to know if they're going to get paid cash right there on the spot, and if you're going to meet them, and they're good with that. They could care less about your business name, if you have a website, none of that stuff. They don't even ask that stuff when you talk to them the first time. I got hundreds and hundreds of sellers. They don't even know my business name. They don't know if I have a website or anything. They just know I'm the guy who buys diabetic supplies, and they feel comfortable doing business with me. So now, first of all, the sellers are personable. They will try to be your friend, so it's always good to know them by their name. I've had times where sellers called me when I first started. I wasn't able to save people's names under their number, so they would be like, "Hey man, you don't remember me? I'm the guy over there, man. Same thing that I give you all the time." So they get a little not annoyed, but they're just like, "What you mean, man? You don't know me?" So it's good to know them by name and stuff like that. Have their name stored in your phone, or in your CRM system or whatever. They will want to meet you ASAP, or definitely sooner than later. You know what I mean? So when they call you, they're calling you, they got the supplies. When can you meet? They want to meet today. Obviously you'll come across some people who are like, okay, cool, I'll see you when you can get here. But for the most part, they want to sell today or very sooner than later. They will, they will try to give you damaged supplies and stuff like that. So it's always good to check on the phone what they have. Even if you've done business with this person 10 times over the last 2 years, always ask them the same thing. Even if they say, man, yeah, it's the same stuff, always ask, always, because they never cease to amaze you. They know the game. They know how you need the supplies. You pull up on them. You might just not even look at the supplies because you know that they know the business and that they've been selling to you. You get home, you look, you're like, man, this one is damaged. This one date is off. You're like, this guy, right? Whatever. But that's your fault, right? You should have looked. Can't trust. I hate to say you can't trust people, but as a business, you gotta just, do your same processes over and over again, regardless if you know the person or not. And that happens to me all the time, even up until this point. So, we all make mistakes. You know what I mean? Now, you know, they will try to tell you anything over the phone just to get you to buy their supplies. Um, Not necessarily to get you to buy their supplies, right? I mean, more so like if it's a seller that you always do business with, and they know that this is like a seller, in their mind, they feel like, you know, you're not gonna come see them ASAP unless it's a lot of supplies. So sometimes maybe they may get a lot of supplies all the time, and in this 1 month they got 1 or 2 boxes, you know, and they have a feeling that you're not gonna come ASAP unless it's a lot. They'll try to tell you, hey, yeah, I got 3 boxes, man, 4 boxes, man. Yep, I got it, man. When can you come? When can you come? I got four, I got four, right? Then you go and meet them, guy pulls up with one. You're like, what happened to the 4? Oh yeah, man, it's at the other pharmacy, and they give you all these excuses the whole time. You're like, you told me you had 4, and you called me 70 times, told me you had 4. Now you only got 1. You know what I mean? Like, just let me know, man. Do good business, have some integrity. Let me know, exactly what you got. I do understand you need some money. You need that 20, that $30, right? I get it, but have some integrity, because now you're risking me now being like, hey, I don't even want to do business with you, right? Don't ever be afraid to cut anybody off. There isn't one seller out here that you need to hold on to. I don't care how much supplies they're giving you, because at the end of the day, there's only so much that any one of these diabetics all across the country can give you per year. There's only so much, right? So it doesn't matter. You want to be told, you want to do good business with people, and you want people to be upfront with you, right? And there is sellers where I just go out my way just because I'm only going to make $10, $20. I'll go out my way just because I have a relationship with that person. Because remember, everyone's real personable about the business. So, they're going to be cool with you and stuff like that. You're going to identify with their different walks of life and this, that, and the third, So you're going to go out your way for some people just because, you know what I mean? So yeah, you have situations like that, you'll have that a lot. You'll have sellers that will ask you to borrow money. I haven't had it. I'm having that situation with just 2 sellers that do it all the time. One of the sellers is a lady, really nice lady, in a wheelchair. Sells me her supplies for the last 2 years. But then she started to ask for money to get to the pharmacy to get her stuff. I didn't really want to do it because, at this point of my career where she was asking me this, I'm months and months and months in, so I've been burnt a couple times. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know about that. Mind you, I just saw her a week ago and gave her $150. So it's just like, why you're not saving some of that money to, go and, being able to get to the pharmacy to get your supplies. Mind you, I'm just someone you do business with. Where's the friends? Where's the family? And, what makes you, why are you so comfortable asking me to borrow money? You don't know me from a hole in the wall except for seeing me once every month. So it's a little odd. But she always gets back to me. But right now, recently, she has asked, and I did it. Mind you, she's contacting me 4 or 5 times a day, long story text messages on social media until I answer. I'm talking about from the beginning of the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. I think she's even looking at her phone to see if I even log into Facebook or anything like that, to see I'm in Facebook, and then sending me long text messages. So after 4 or 5 of them, I'm like, okay, here's $20. This lady's gone ghost. You know what I mean? So now I have a decision to make where I'm like, do I tell her, hey, I don't want to do business with you anymore. I trusted you, and part of me is just like, whatever, still do business with her because, she's in a wheelchair. But then again, it's just like, I'm very kind, but it's like, I understand you have a disability, right? You're in a wheelchair, but your mind still works very well. You still have integrity. You're still supposed to be trustworthy. And that's not cool that, you blow me up all the way until you get that $20. And then now I'm like, hey, what's going on with the supplies? Can I come and get, and now you're just not answering. You know what I mean? So that's not cool. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. But you have situations like that. Oh, and another guy. I have a guy who, you know, he's real chatty, sees me, asks me how my day's going, how's the week going, how's business going, which is a little weird, kind of pocket watching me, how's business going, da da da. Always asking that, always asking what supplies we're buying, this, that, and the third, how much we pay. Every time, to the point, you're just like, I'm kind of like, oh, I gotta see this guy. Even though I get a lot of stuff from him, I'm just like, man, I gotta see this dude. And he calls me 1,001 times until I come. This dude is relentless. But, eventually started asking me to borrow money, depending on how much I bought from him that day. Mind you, I'm buying, every time I see him, I'm seeing him twice a month. I'm giving him $100+ 2 times a month. And so it depends. If it's like 70 or 80, he's looking at it like, oh, hey man, you think I could borrow 20? So I've done it a couple times because I'm so kind. You kind of just like, it's kind of hard to say no, feel bad, because someone's asking you. It's not really I feel bad about the situation. He has an apartment, he has a wife, all of that. You know what I mean? It's not, I don't really know what his financial situation is, but it ain't that bad because he's living, he's paying rent. You know what I mean? All of that stuff. But just the personality, the real chattiness, and all that, it's probably a real finesser. That's what he's probably always done his whole life. Just kind of, build you up, become real cool with you, and kind of like whenever he needs something, that's when he's gonna come out and ask, and people usually give it to him because they're like, this guy's a good guy. You know what I mean? So he's talking to me, this, that, and the third. But after a while, I started to feel like he was taking advantage of me. You know what I mean? Now because at one time or 2 times I did it, he's asking every time now to borrow and then take it out from the next time I see him. And now I'll just be like, I can't do it. This is the company's money. That's it. This is the company's money. So, yeah, funny. But, now another thing, most sellers are gonna, I guess, have financial issues. You know what I mean? They need a few dollars. So you'll have situations like that. But a good big portion of them don't. You know what I mean? They just want to sell their stuff and have a couple extra bucks. Some sellers I think might have some drug stuff going on, some drug abuse stuff going on, and you can tell, right? You could tell. You could tell over the phone the way they sound. You could tell when you see them. You could tell. You could tell by how many times they're calling you with literally 1 box, 2 boxes, or some boxes from Walgreens or Walmart, and they're telling you that it's this, that, and the third. It's the same boxes that you buy at this certain price, but it's not. It's something else. And they're blowing you up. Then you get there and you're like, this is what you blew me up for? You know what I mean? But you could tell. Person super off. You could tell. Like I said, some sellers could be the nicest people in the world. Like I told you, the 2 sellers who, try to finesse me and all of that, they're the nicest people in the world, man. You know what I mean? Little old lady in a wheelchair, man. You know what I mean? Old guy, old white guy, man, cool, man, nice, polite, try to finesse you. So you kind of, I don't want to say you got to stay firm, but just, you have your principles, your rules, your morals, everything that you, as far as your business runs, you got to stay. I think you got to stay solid with that. And I don't know what it is. Maybe because I'm a young black man, they think that maybe I identify with the struggle, so it's easier to ask me. Sometimes I wonder if it was somebody else from another culture, would they feel like they could ask them that? I wonder that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you'll get sellers who could be combative. They don't understand why you pay the price that you pay, or why you can't buy their damaged or short dated supplies. So you just have to just articulate to them, in a professional manner, and just be firm. And if they don't want to do business, that's fine. I now just dealing with so many people, now I just follow with, hey, you can keep it. You know what I mean? It's cool. I don't say it in a mean way or frustrated. let them know, because then they think like, oh, he doesn't really care too much about it. Then they're like, all right, all right, all right. You know what I mean? Overall, people in this business are pretty safe. The sellers are pretty safe. They're the ages of the people you're dealing with are like 45 to 60 and stuff. They're pretty safe. They don't want to play no games. They want the money. They know they're gonna be selling to you all the time. They don't want to do anything to mess that up. You'll have some sellers who are afraid. They think you're gonna steal their supplies. The whole time you're the one with the cash. You know what I'm saying? So, you'll have sellers who will wait till their husband comes and stuff like that, so you guys all can meet up. Stuff like that. As far as sellers who, like, for example, like, I didn't have any violent situations or anything like that, but the 2 times that I've had situations that were a got a little crazy, they were young sellers, right? 2 sellers, very, very young, around my age. And they both seemed like they were on drugs, definitely. But I noticed it over the phone. Something was very off about them. So you guys, when you're dealing with sellers, you're gonna already kind of understand what the seller is on as far as personality, age. You're gonna understand. You're gonna hear it through their voice and their demeanor over the phone. After dealing with so many people, it's always gonna be the same situations. The people's personalities and demeanors will match up with specific situations. So I could already tell who I'm talking to, type of person I'm talking to, this, that, and the third, over the phone. Guys, feel free not to do business with the seller. Shoot, if you gotta block them, block them. If they call too much, block them. You know what I mean? Some people just tell them, you're calling me way too much. You know what I mean? They'll blow you up. It's like they think this thing is dominoes or something. Like, you're just gonna just drop everything and get to them right at this moment. You know what I mean? Which I am getting to everything at that moment. But sometimes some of this stuff just be out of control. Mind you, I'm dealing with people from 20 minutes out everywhere, from this direction, that direction, this direction. So if I'm way over here, I ain't gonna be able to get way over here, this part of the city. You know what I mean? In that span of time. Sometimes you'll have sellers who call you right off a drop of a hat talking about, can you come now? I got to go to work in 30 minutes. You're like, but you knew you had to go to work in 30 minutes. Why did you call me now? Why didn't you call me 45 minutes ago? You know what I mean? Then you're like, I'm coming. Then 10 minutes later, oh, where are you now? I'm like, dude, you just called me. I'm in the car on my way there. So you'll have funny situations like that. You just prep the seller next time. Hey, call me way ahead of time. You got to understand, if you need to be somewhere at 9, you can't call me at 8 and just say, I need you to come now. Because you still got to understand, I still got to get up. I still got to do all these different things. I got to get in the car. I got to drive to you. There's going to be some traffic. You know what I mean? So it would be better if you just called me at 7:30. It would have been better if you just called me last night. You know what I mean? Some sellers you're going to deal with, they have already sold their supplies before to different companies. So they're easy to do business with. Well, it's off and on. They could be combative by the price. They haven't sold in a long time, so then you're telling them the new price that the stuff's going for. They're like, no, I used to sell it for this. You had to explain them that. But then for the most part, they know how the supplies are supposed to look, so you can trust that their supplies are going to be really good. So you're good with that. Sometimes you get people from foreign countries and stuff like that. They just don't understand. They think that you're just trying to get over on them, right? They're very just firm. It's like, this is not what I can't do that. This is not how this works. So you'll have situations like that, and I just I try my best to articulate the business to them. But overall, it's a great business, guys. You're dealing with a lot of people, so what comes with that is different personalities. That's just what it is. But the best thing is you're not convincing them to sell to you. They're already selling to you. They don't care who you are, what you are, whatever you're driving. Doesn't matter if you're a company, a real company, business name, and all of that. They don't care about none of that. So that's the cool thing. But, you know, at the end of the day, you're a businessman or businesswoman, and you're making great income per hour from this thing, you know. So you need to adjust to the business. That's just what it is. And all other businesses and industries, people running those businesses and industries, they have to adjust as well. You're not, so the grass is not greener on the other side. So, you know, you're going to have issues in this business, you're going to have issues in other businesses, either or. But this, at least you're not trying to sell to someone. You don't have to convince them. They're already selling to you. You just got to just go with the punches, deal with the different personalities, and that's it. All right, guys. So, yeah, man, you know, I got a course mentorship link down below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. All right, shoot a comment. You know, I answer all comments all the time. All right, guys, peace.